What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade, undefeated two-division world champion, who is the WBO reigning middleweight world champion, superstar boxer, gets a second-round knockout victory over Jason Quigley to retain his title at middleweight. He's the World Boxing Association's middleweight reigning world champion. Okay? With that said, Demetrius Andrade, 31 wins, no losses, no draws, 19 wins by way of knockout, 33 years of age, stands at 6 feet tall with a 73-inch arm reach. Okay, Jason Quigley was 19 wins, 1 loss, no draws, 14 wins by way of knockout, 30 years of age, stands at 6'1" with a 72-inch arm reach. With that said, he's now 2 losses in the L column because he was knocked out in the second round by Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade. With that said, obviously Demetrius Andrade, he wants the biggest fights out there. He signed to Matchroom CEO and promoter Eddie Hearn. Demetrius Andrade, he fights on DAZN, and he's looking to make the biggest fight possible. Demetrius Andrade, after the fight, he stated that he wants the winner of Gennady Triple G Golovkin, who's a 2-time middleweight world champion, who is the IBF reigning middleweight champion currently as it stands. And he's Gennady Golovkin, 41 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 36 wins by way of knockout, 39 years of age, 5'10.5" with a 70-inch arm reach. He's scheduled to face off against the WBA middleweight world champion, superstar boxer Ryota Murata. That's scheduled to take place December 29th of this year in a unification bout. Okay, Ryota Murata, 16 wins, 2 losses, no draws, 13 wins by way of knockout, 6 foot tall with a 75-inch arm reach. Very long, very lanky. Okay, so this is a unification bout. The WBA title will be on the line. The IBF title will be on the line. And it's scheduled to take place in Japan, I believe. He says he wants the winner of that fight. Okay. Then he also stated that he wants to face off against former 2-time 2-division world champions, British superstar boxer Billy Joe Saunders. He was scheduled to face Billy Joe Saunders prior, but Billy Joe Saunders, he tested positive for a banned substance, and he had to vacate the belt. And Demetrius Andrade, he fought for the vacant belt. Billy Joe Saunders now 30 wins, 1 loss, no draws, 14 wins by way of knockout, 32 years of age, 5'11" with a 71-inch arm reach. Okay. With that said, Billy Joe Saunders is coming off of a devastating knockout loss to now 4-division world champion Mexican superstar boxer, who is currently the undisputed super middleweight world champion, and that is Saul Canelo Alvarez. Okay. That fight took place May of this year, and he brutally knocked out and broke the eye socket of Billy Joe Saunders. Canelo Alvarez did. And now, most recently, he just beat former IBF super middleweight world champion, superstar boxer Caleb Sweethand Plant to become undisputed. The first undisputed super middleweight and the first Mexican-born fighter to hold all 4 major sanction belts. But with that said, Billy Joe Saunders and Demetrius Andrade, they were supposed to face off for Billy Joe Saunders' WBO middleweight title, okay? And Demetrius Andrade had ended up fighting a replacement opponent because Billy Joe Saunders, he tested positive for a banned substance. And Demetrius Andrade, this was back in 2018, October 2018. And then he had to end up fighting Walter Contaduqua, okay? In a replacement for the vacant WBO title because Billy Joe Saunders was stripped and removed from the fight, okay? So with that said, he hasn't, Andrade, been able to secure the biggest fights in the sport of boxing. Demetrius Andrade was asked about a unification bout, which should happen in the biggest fight in the sport of boxing. One of the biggest fights would be Demetrius Andrade versus fellow undefeated 2-division world champion, who's the WBC reigning middleweight world champion, Jermall Lions Only Charlo, superstar boxer, 32 wins, no losses, no draws, 22 big wins by way of knockout, 31 years of age, stands 6 feet tall with a 73-inch arm reach. Last time we saw Jermall Charlo in the ring was June of this year when he took on defeated Juan Montiel in a unanimous decision. But he showed some vulnerabilities in that fight. Now, Eddie Hearn, after the fight, he with Demetrius Andrade, Eddie Hearn, he stated that it's a shame that Demetrius Andrade can't secure these big fights. Okay, he stated that it's a shame that Demetrius Andrade has to jump through hoops and hurdles to attempt to get these fights and still can't secure these fights. Okay, and he stated that it's a shame that Jermall Charlo's 32 wins. He's undefeated. Demetrius Andrade's 31 wins. He's undefeated. They're both world champions in a glamour division, a middleweight division, and they can't make this fight. Now, Eddie Hearn, he stated that he attempted to send Jermall Charlo offers, but Jermall Charlo never responded. Jermall Charlo, he even confirmed that Eddie Hearn did reach out, and Jermall Charlo, he stated to Eddie Hearn, "Stop reaching out to me. I'm not a matchmaker. I don't make these fights happen. Call Al Heyman." Okay? And so, with that said, the fight never came to fruition. What's interesting to me is that Demetrius Andrade was asked about fighting Jermall Charlo in the locker room. You can see this on Boxing Social. And while he was asked about this, he was asked if this was his number one objective, is to fight Jermall Charlo, and he said no. Okay, he stated that the fight that he would love to have is a fight that have been talked about for quite some time, and that is a fight between himself and, get this, Billy Joe Saunders. Okay, he said he wanted to fight Billy Joe Saunders. He's been looking to fight Billy Joe Saunders. The fight just haven't come to fruition. That's the fight he want. He would love that fight. He said that Billy Joe Saunders, he stated that if he is to come back, the only fight he wants to come back and have is against Demetrius Andrade. So he stated that that's the fight that he's looking for. In my opinion, I feel like Demetrius Andrade has to be more assertive. Now, we know Demetrius Andrade for sure. He went to Jermall Charlo's press conference and he called out Jermall Charlo. He went to Canelo Alvarez's press conference. We know that. And he called out Canelo Alvarez. He went to, multiple press conferences. He called out many people. Like I said, he called out Jermall Charlo, and they went back and forth. He told Jermall Charlo he needed to make the fight happen. When are they going to make the fight? Things got a little touchy. The security was called, so on and so forth. Okay, but the fight has never come to fruition. It's still yet to come to fruition. Okay, this is a fight that needs to happen. Okay, and I feel like Demetrius Andrade should have for sure, been assertive and stated that he wanted the Jermall Charlo fight. Okay, I think at this point in this gesture in Demetrius Andrade's career, he has to just focus on one fighter, not multiple fighters. Focus and hone in on one fighter. Focus and hone in on Jermall Charlo, and do whatever it takes to get the deal done to make the fight happen. Okay, Demetrius Andrade, he called out the Zone. He called out Eddie Hearn. He called out Chris Mannix. He said that he saw Chris Mannix after Jaime Munguia just recently beat Gabe Rosado, and that he stated that Jaime Munguia needs the fight that needs to happen is Jaime Munguia versus Triple G, and Demetrius Andrade wasn't happy with that. He stated that he needed to say that Jaime Munguia needs to fight him. Jaime Munguia moved up from junior middleweight, and he became Demetrius Andrade's mandatory, and yet Jaime Munguia, he decided that he wanted some tune-up fights before fighting Demetrius Andrade at middleweight, and he's 4 fights in, and now he's going to a completely different direction. Now he's becoming Jermall Charlo's mandatory challenger should he get past Sergey Derevyanchenko. Okay, so now Jaime Munguia is going to fight Sergey Derevyanchenko, and then he's going to look to fight Jermall Charlo possibly for his WBC title. Okay, the WBC World Boxing Council, President Mauricio Suleiman and the board, they declared that that's the fight that is going to happen should Jaime Munguia beat Sergey Derevyanchenko, and if he truly wants to pursue that fight. Okay, I think that right now Jermall Charlo does not have a fight. Jermall Charlo has been inactive since June. Okay, and I think that Demetrius Andrade should completely focus on Jermall Charlo. Okay, that's the route I believe he needs to go. I believe he needs to have Eddie Hearn contact Al Heyman and do what's necessary to make that fight happen. I know a lot of people are going to praise Demetrius Andrade for this victory against Jason Quigley. I'm not. I knew that Demetrius Andrade talent is leaps and bounds ahead of Jason Quigley. He did what he was supposed to do against a guy of that level, or against a guy of his status, and his technique and his skill set. When it comes to Jason Quigley, he needed to do just that. Okay. And so with that said, I believe that waiting for Gennady Golovkin, Murata, neither one of them has fought in over a year. Okay, they don't plan on fighting the best opposition. They're looking to maximize as much of the revenue as possible. And Demetrius Andrade, who got in the ring with Gennady Golovkin after Gennady Golovkin had beaten Sergey Derevyanchenko in a fight that I thought he personally lost, and Demetrius Andrade got in the ring with him, called him out, and he completely ignored him. Okay, and he shows no interest to fighting him. And the WBA, the IBF, they have no interest in removing them as champions. And so the fight he needs to focus on should be Jermall Charlo. So let's see how this all unfolds and plays out. Let's listen to Demetrius Andrade.
Listen to you say, "Oh, Jaime Munguia, let's fight Triple G." That's not in my direction. You're advocating the wrong fight. Jaime Munguia need to be fighting me if he's looking to fight Triple G, or Triple G, or the winner or loser of Murata. I'll fight either one of them because they're both elite top fighters, and I want to get in there with the best.
So you see, again, he's making mention of guys that are scheduled to fight December 29th, next month, in the month. And neither guy, once again, is showing any interest in fighting Demetrius Andrade. Again, his focus should be Jermall Charlo. And Jaime Munguia, he already knows. Why are you focusing on Jaime Munguia when Jaime Munguia is we already know is going to fight Sergey Derevyanchenko, and then he's going to be the WBC mandatory. So he's not even looking to fight Triple G himself. Now, he did call out Triple G, Jaime Munguia, after this fight, but the route he's going is Sergey Derevyanchenko, and then he's going to go to look the route of fighting Jermall Charlo. So if you want to fight Jaime Munguia, beat Jaime Munguia to Jermall Charlo. You beat Jermall Charlo, and then Jaime Munguia has to go through you as well. You set up two big fights with the price of one.
Prove that I'm able to get in there and win.
What kind of message do you think you sent to the rest of the middleweight division?
I mean, I'm 31-0, WBO champion, 2000 Olympian. What do I got to keep on doing? I don't get 31-0.
What kind of message do you think you sent?
See, once again, he's not focusing on Jermall Charlo. That's the focus that Demetrius Andrade needs to have. That's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Hit the bell icon to get all the new notification. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Raw. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
Oh, it is your boy Jada Kiss. Make sure you check out Blue Blood Sports TV. It's going down.